Long ago, I met an older brother from the north. He collected many vintage tractors from years past. This time, I traveled over 1,500 kilometers to find the Dongfanghong tractor of my dreams. With so many old machines on the lot, it truly left me a bit dazzled. The water nozzles on these usually never break. No, they don't. These nozzles are all positioned horizontally. It's generating power in there, so there's a generator, right? Yes, from July of year 3. In the end, I acquired this tractor, which is over 40 years old. I hope to use my own hands to restore its former glory. After more than 10 days of waiting, this tractor has finally arrived. Looking at this relic from decades ago, I can't wait to tear it down and see the condition inside. My principle is, if it can be cut, I won't force it. This is also my way of showing the utmost respect for this old machine, an old driver's touch. When the disassembly was going well, the standard puller wasn't working. It was impossible to pull it off, so I had to make a custom steel puller myself. You waited for 60 minutes just to hear that one pop sound. Old. Didn't find it. Hey. See, you said it's the same. Both front and rear wheels have additional counterweights, totaling about 300 pounds. When working in the fields, this increases traction significantly and makes the chassis more stable. At this point, except for the engine and gearbox, this Dongfanghong tractor is basically fully disassembled. Are you awake? Resting? Oh, it's too late. Caught a few mice. Next, I'll take apart this single-cylinder diesel engine completely. I'll give it, from inside out, a deep maintenance and restoration. In your eyes, a lemon of a girl. The piston and liner are worn and rough. They must be completely replaced. After several days, with a sense of reverence for it, leaving no corner untouched, piece by piece, the disassembly and cleaning of this single-cylinder diesel engine is done. Mission accomplished. Next is the reassembly of the engine components. On a machine this old, the oil seals and lines are aged and cracked. This time, I'm replacing them with a brand new set. After 2 days of work, this engine is finally reassembled. Next, I'll apply the primer and its signature paint. Add fresh oil. Install the accessories. With all the preparations done, it's time for the long-awaited test start. I didn't expect it to start on the first try. Next, I'll disassemble the gearbox and rear axle entirely for cleaning and repair. During the initial test, the high and low gears wouldn't engage properly. It was just a loose locking screw on the shift rod. Tightening it to the right position solves the problem perfectly. Possible dad. Pin more wine, you know. More head. The inside was repaired and got jammed. So no regrets. Found no new slippers. All being trimmed. After round of cleaning, the 40 years of grease and grime in the gearbox is finally mostly gone. Shedding the marks of history, it finally reveals its original form. To make subsequent painting easier, I also need to preserve their surfaces. At this point, all cleaning and restoration work is complete. I've also applied the restorative primer to the exterior. The overall restoration process is not actually complex. The difficulty lies in being thorough. Of course, the process can be quite grueling. And then spray on its signature paint. Maybe narcissism is just too ugly. Stole someone else's new one. Fill it with gear oil. Install the gear lever. Tighten the last screw. Close the oil filler cap. The gearbox and rear axle assembly is finally finished. Finally, after spraying the signature paint, it's back to how it looked all those years ago. The hardest parts are now settled. Now I'll start working on the radiator, the front axle, and the four-wheel hubs. The leather is worn out. Little cauliflower. Friction on the fur. It will be a headache later. After going through the sandblaster, all the parts look much better now. Next is to spray them all with restorative primer. After countless cleanings, and round after round of sanding, the front axle and wheel hub parts have finally undergone a transformation. Once the paint is completely dry, we can begin the final assembly of the engine, gearbox, front and rear axles, and the tires. After some hard work, the two rear wheels are finally installed. It looks pretty good from this angle. Next, I'll start assembling the front axle. The bearings and seals inside were almost completely shot, so they must all be replaced with brand new ones. Looking at this, you might also wonder, isn't it just a tractor? This seemingly simple little thing takes so much dismantling. A huge pile of parts came off, and now they each have to be put back. It's definitely quite a hassle, but that's exactly where the fun lies. As the restoration nears its end, I've developed a profound understanding of this old machine. I've maintained a heart of reverence, treating every single part with care. Now the entire body is fully united. The remaining work is to organize the exterior panels. I'm about to fulfill the promise I made to this old machine. At this point, the entire restoration progress is down to the very last step. Next is to clean and repair the exterior components. After washing off the dirt and grease, preliminary sanding can begin. Areas that are deformed like these also need to be straightened out. Even though it's a pure piece of farm machinery, I still arranged 2 mudguards for its front wheels. At this point, preliminary cleaning and alignment are complete. Next, I'll use the sandblaster to treat every component in detail once more. All parts are cleaned and sanded. Next is to apply the restorative primer. Once the primer is dry, I need to inspect everything. Pitted areas like these require a layer of body filler. The early cleaning, alignment, and sanding work was indeed exhausting. It took a massive amount of time. With all preparations finished, we can proceed with the final painting. After handling the small details across the body, we can start installing the exterior parts. The original rubber bushing had too much play, so installing a bearing is much more reliable. The original headlight brackets and head latches were unusable, so I tracked down a set of original salvaged parts. Adding fresh fuel from 2024. Closing the hood. A small 4-wheel tractor full of history emerges brand new. Restoring a classic is how this old tractor should look. At this point, the deep restoration of this decades-old tractor is officially over, leaving no screw unturned. leaving no detail behind. This was the promise I made to this old machine. Let it roam through the hills and fields once more, leaving behind the dust of time and memories of the past. This time, it's not just the restoration of a tractor. It's a tribute to the predecessors of this workshop. And more importantly, the heritage of a piece of history, and a salute to the spirit of labor.